What's up, y'all? And today I will be going over a specific weapon that I want to go over because most of the content that I have right now is feeling like a little dull and I want to try something new with this channel. So I'm gonna try to basically go over certain weapons in Borderlands 3 as best I can. And this is a fair warning. I want to basically go over specific weapons, armor, and gears whenever I want to, and specific weapons that I like. And since that is out the way, I want to go over the Star Helix in general. So by far, using this weapon should only be good for Mayhem 1, Mayhem 2 maybe, but I'm not really too sure on Mayhem 3 and Mayhem 4 because for the most part I've only been using this specific weapon on Mayhem 1 and Mayhem 2. I'm not really sure if it's really good for Mayhem 3 and Mayhem 4 yet, but that's just me. So this weapon is a fully automatic and a semi-automatic, so you could use it in full rounds or you can use it in like little bursts. And surprisingly, if you use the semi-automatic, it does a little bit more damage. So this specific weapon shoots a straight bullet in between two weaving bullets, and the quote that they use is "the stars are better off without us," which is James S.A. Corey's quote. But from experience from using this weapon, it's fairly good and it deals a fair amount of damage. But it is way better if you use elemental damage. So the only elemental damage they have, of course, you have neutral, you got shock damage, you got radiation damage, and cryo damage. But fair enough, if you really want to deal damage, of course, the only way to deal more damage is by using the semi-auto. But I highly advise you to, like, you know, if you need to like go back to get some aim in with the semi-auto, you can, because if you use the semi-auto, it will literally increase the weapon zoom, making it a lot harder for you to be able to do that crit damage. The best element to use with this specific weapon is probably going to end up being cryo and shock. If you use shock, because shock is literally more towards the Malawan enemies and actually technically any enemies with shields, it just shreds them like a dream. And of course, if you use cryo, it just slows them down, and probably if you use it right, you could freeze them. If you're only able to use the neutral one, the neutral one does a decent amount of damage, so you don't really have to worry about it. But in my fair case, I just don't like the radiation damage. Even though the radiational damage like literally go to another person if it gets near them, to me, in most radiational weapons, it doesn't really do as much damage as I expected to. It's kind of like slag, but it's not. But I just don't like it. In this case, most radio damage does not do as much damage as you expect it to, so it's like it doesn't really feel like I'm actually putting in work on the enemies, especially using radiational damage. So the best one to get is about shock and cryo, but mostly shock because you'll be able to shred them like literally with the shields. And then what if you use a Moe's perk that you'll be able to like shoot incendiary damage, you will be able to just shred their shields and health like no problem. But it can get a little tough if you like go around and try to kill armored enemies, because the armored enemies is, of course, you can't really pierce through armor using regular weapons. So it's best to switch to a different weapon and then switch right back to your Helix to finish them off. So a way to get this weapon, technically this weapon is a world drop, so technically you could get this weapon for almost anywhere in the game. So to increase your chances on literally getting this specific weapon, you can go try to farm these power troopers in the Atlas HQ. There are rare enemies, so they should be easy to farm. So overall, I have fun with this weapon. This weapon is fairly good in the field in most cases. So of course, if you haven't got this weapon yet, go try to get this weapon and try this weapon out. So that's technically it with this video. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I do reviews, videos, PvP matches, streams, and more. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page and my Twitch account, because I stream on those platforms as well. Everything should be in the description box below. Peace.